Welcome back to BLCVikings.com. I'm Don Westfall, Director of Athletics here at Bethany, and we are going to kick off the fall sports season here. We're bringing in Michael Dunn to talk about the men's and women's cross-country season. Coach Dunn joined us just about a year ago. Yeah. It's been a fast year, I'm sure. How much smarter you are going into this season? If for no other reason, obviously, you know your athletes, you know a little bit about the competition you're going to face, the courses, things like that. I would imagine the learning curve, you're a little more at ease right now than you were a year ago at this time.
Absolutely. It's nice to kind of get to know the other coaches in the conference, other teams, and definitely have a year under my belt with the athletes that we have that are returning as well. And it's always a good thing to have that first year under your belt, so you're able to have the knowledge, like you said, of going into the second season with that much more knowledge about the season. So, what
was the biggest surprise to you versus when you got here, again, roughly about a year ago? You've had 1 year under the belt. What's the biggest surprise to you in terms of things you've learned about the students here, the school stuff, about the conference as a whole?
Just how dedicated that they are to every activity on campus. There's a lot of student athletes that we have that are involved in quite a bit, and they're very bright students as well. And so just the drive that they have, that they bring into practice every day when they've got all kinds of other things involved that they're involved in, it's very impressive.
Talk a little bit about the teams going into the season. Men's team, obviously you lose an impact runner like an Owen Richardson, who had come in a few years ago, won the conference meet. Not necessarily big in numbers right now, but certainly as far as talent and experience, maybe across the board, runners 1 through 5, 1 through 6, pretty even in that regard. And then again, there is a lot of experience coming back.
Absolutely. I mean, our men, we have a solid group that are coming back. I think first-year kid, Stefan Prince, who ran track for us last year, he's going to bring a lot to the table for us this year. He had a great first practice today for us, and so we're excited to see what he's going to bring. We got the veterans like Zach Dansman and David Luring and Lucas Malmanek, who I think all want to put their stamp on this year as well. And freshman Nathan Burr, I think, is going to bring a lot to the table for us as well. All the way through our whole roster, we have a group that I think is very cohesive, and they've already seemed to gel very well together for the guys.
And on the women's side, I don't know if necessarily we're taping this before the preseason rankings come out. I don't know if teams are going to consider you one of those favorites in the conference. I certainly know they're going to factor you in as one of the teams they're going to have to contend with.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, I think we have depth, we have numbers. With 16 women right now that we've got that are ready to go, I think those ladies are all dedicated and have shown a lot of hard work throughout. I think that those that are returning at least have that depth and that experience in our conference. We get Megan Sauer back, who was all region last year. Her sister Morgan continued to climb throughout the season in cross and track last season. We have Lydia Hildebrandt out this year. First time she did track last year. She came up for cross country this year and had a great practice this morning as well. A transfer, Brianna. She's going to be a big factor, I think, this year as well. We got a girl from Utah, Chloe, who's pretty excited to be out for the team this year as well. And we have such a large team this year. It's going to be really hard to pick out those real kind of I would say juggernauts on the team, because I think it's going to change throughout the entire season.
And for you, versus a year ago, you came into a situation you kind of had to inherit a schedule. You had much more of your stamp on this year's schedule, and a little bit of differences. You're taking the teams to different meets on different weekends. Women are headed back. I know the big meet up in the University of Minnesota, the GREC meet, and you also kick things off with a night race.
Yeah, I think that was one that I saw last year. I was like, oh, we got to get our team into that. The whole course is lit up. And it's a race that is more of an experience opportunity, and the race is shorter than their meets will be kind of later in the season. And so it's a good opener for them, and that'll be September 2nd, which is a Friday night. And I think it's just one of those good team building experiences, but also a meet that I know all the athletes are very excited about.
All right, well, we're excited to have you back here for another year, a little more experience, maybe a little more calm, a little more settled in.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's important as well. And again, keep track of the Viking cross-country teams as the season progresses here. BLCVikings.com, you are on the Bethany Sports Feed.